The great things come in threes, all right? You got the sun, the moon, and the earth, all right? Then I got the posse, all right?
A little straw in your mouth coming up in that thing.
Commanders family, we are back at Northwest Stadium for a meeting with the Detroit Lions, and we're going to need the best fans in the NFL to show up and show out for this one. We turned the page from Sunday night's tough loss and set our sights on the Detroit Lions, who are coming into Northwest Stadium looking for payback from their divisional round L they took from us last year. Our guys break down how we can stop that payback from happening and more. Then we send our defensive back duo, Fred Smoot and Sean Springs, to practice to break down our defensive backs and our defense. And last but not least, we hear from the Posse, who pulled up on Game Day Live to celebrate one of the best to ever do it. All that and more right now on Command Center. Welcome into Command Center. We are here in the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. I'm here with the best guys in the world, Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, and Logan Paulson. And fellas, injury after injury after injury. That's been the story of this season. Marshawn Lattimore and Luke McCaffrey officially on IR. Jaden Daniels is hurt as well. We do not know how long he will be out. However, we know he will be missing this Sunday's game. Losing all those starters after you've already lost so many starters, Fred, how does that impact the franchise?
I watched B. Mitch play in the body bag game where he had to play quarterback. This feels like the body bag season right now. It feels like right when one guy comes back, two more are gone. And you just can't get a report like that. But I always say this, when guys come up missing, it's a chance for somebody else to cement themselves as a star in this league or as a starter in this league. So where one thing goes down, opportunity presents itself. So to the guys that play second and third string and now you're a starter, show people that you're never going back to the bench again. So it's an opportunity for some other guys to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the rapport, the chemistry, the roles that guys were starting to develop for themselves. Like, look at Luke, man. He was becoming a really dangerous kick returner.
Yeah.
He was catching balls in the game. Like, it's just disappointing to kind of see that he's not going to be able to finish what he started this season. And it's tough for everybody, like Marshawn, all the guys. So it's really challenging, but, like, this is the nature of football in the NFL, right? It's a physical, violent football game.
Yeah, we're quick to say it's the nature of football, but I don't think I ever saw a team deal with this many injuries on every level, of the team. And it's just unfortunate. But at the same time, when people sit here screaming and yelling about the team sucks because of what's going on, they don't look at that part of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, we're wounded badly, but we have guys there that has to fill in that void. And, Fred said it best, man. This is your opportunity, shine for a lifetime.
Fellas, we know Detroit is coming in motivated, especially after coming off of a tough loss last weekend. The Detroit Lions are entering this matchup 5-3 on the season after a close Week 9 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. The Detroit's defense has found success creating turnovers with 12 on the season. Additionally, the Lions' defense is second in the league with 28 sacks on the season. Detroit's offense, led by quarterback Jared Goff, sits in the top 3 for points per game with just shy of 30. While wide receiver Amon St. Brown leads the Lions with 634 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. Additionally, the run game features backs Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and they average around 125 yards per game. Now, let's hear from head coach Dan Quinn.
Well, I think you want to first, that's a fighting mindset to find a way to dig for it. And the nice part about our team, the culture and environment is there to push one another to get better. And when you don't hit the marks, like the frustration of why and where, and there can be over trying or, step out, why am I not doing that to go make a play? And so I think what it calls on with your back against the wall is like real discipline, man. Like you don't have to do anybody else's gig, just yours, hard, tough, but like don't get out of the discipline of like what's required for you. And that's what's needed for us and our team at this time.
Now, before we send it to the guys in the film room, let's take a look at a few numbers behind this matchup. Now, Washington's run game is still in the top 5, averaging just shy of 140 yards per game. And Detroit has a top 3 scoring offense. Now, for more on this Lions offense, let's kick it over to Logan and Santana, who are standing by in the film room. It's time for Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. Take it away, fellas.
Brian, thanks so much, man. All right. Tana, let's talk about these playmakers for Detroit.
Get it, baby.
Let's start with our guy, number 14, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Tana, do you remember Dagger? Do you remember that concept?
You know I know
this
Dagger.
This kind of deep dig here. To me, it's one of the routes that kind of shows how you run, like how good you are as a receiver, right?
No doubt.
And so, to me, Amon-Ra runs everything, right? He does everything at a good high level, so he's going to get to outside leverage. And outside leverage, Tana, I think, man, he's probably in a little bit of trouble. He's running an in-breaking route. But watch him be able to fight over top of this. Great job by him. Right
yeah,
here.
one of the things I love about this guy, man, I mean, first of all, I have a love-hate kind of relationship with this guy because one, I'm loving the fact that he's a little guy and he plays big. So, I'm talking about myself a little bit, but also that he's on the other team.
Yeah.
And when you have to face this guy, you have to worry about him playing big and making these plays against you. This is one of the worst ways you want to run this route, but he shows you why he's a true veteran, a true pro, and he's the fire starter of this offense. He's the fire starter of this passing game. He found a way to get inside him and make the play. Came up so clutch.
Yeah, they do such a good job of creating space for him, right? They're going to get this guy to kind of hold this coverage here. This guy, Williams, is clearing out here, and they're able to find this grass in the middle of the field here, this grass right here, and it's just perfect in terms of how you design the dig and the trust he has with Jared Goff. Like, Goff's throwing this ball before he's even out of his break because one of the things I love about him, Tanny, he's so consistent with his routes. He's able to make these plays down the football field.
Yeah, it's one thing of being a guy that's making plays, but being clutch is something that we take for granted when we see guys like him, and that's what he does, man. He's clutch. Every time that ball is in the air, he finds a way to come down with it.
And so he's winning versus man. And then again, like when they gotta have a play, he's the guy they go to. This is man coverage right here on the perimeter. They're you get the man zone indicator with this guy motioning back here across with the tight end, and it's inside leverage, like little quick through. I'm gonna work my stem, inside release, push vertical, and I love how he pushes vertical, and I love the strength he plays with, Tana. He's a really hard cover.
Yeah, his dad said he named him St. Brown for a reason, man. He's the guy. You know what I mean? He put him there as he's the chosen one, man, and he shows you every time he run routes. Like, this is one of those routes we take for granted right here, just not knowing that how much we have to run through when it comes to linebackers. You would have thought this linebacker would have chipped him a little bit, but he's one of those guys, man. He didn't care. He wanted to bring on that, whatever that defensive back had, he made sure that I touched him a little bit so he can put that foot in the ground and separate from him.
Yeah, and you see the strength, and you see the speed, and you see the consistency. Another guy that's extremely explosive in this offense is Jahmyr Gibbs, man. And they're going to run just a little bit of duo here, get this nice vertical push. He's going to block out. They're going to motion the receiver down. The receivers block their faces off. He's not touched on this, Jahmyr, but you feel every ounce of his explosiveness, man. He is a dangerous weapon in this offense.
Lightning in the bottle. I mean, when I say lightning in the bottle, watch him. Gone.
Dude, out of there, man.
Hey, man, what more could you say about a guy that has speed like that? He's one of those, he's a play away or run away from taking the thing to the house every time he touches the rock.
And you see that when he's running the football as a runner. You see him with catching the football in the backfield. They definitely have to have a plan just because he is so gifted, explosive, man. Santana. The other element you got to worry about is the tight end, man. Laporta, they're doing a good job here with this little motion pre-snap. Detroit is. They kind of get a man zone indicator. Goff knows it's zone. They're going to rotate to cover two. He's going to drop back here. They're going to get to a nice middle field open. And watch Laporta. He's got enough vertical speed here to attack this cover two space and really just find the void, right? They're getting into this Tampa 2. You see the Tampa 2 here, Tana? This guy's in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
2. And then Laporta's down the middle here. And when you have a guy that can stress defenses like this and a quarterback who knows where to go with the football, it becomes a really difficult thing to defend.
Yeah, I feel like this league right now is seeing a transition by all these young tight ends. They're taking over this league. They're taking this league by storm. And when this guy finally caught his win and said, hey, you got to recognize me over here in Detroit, it's been cancel Christmas for everybody that's facing this guy. So we have to put our eyes on him. We got to have a couple of eyes on this guy because he's one of those guys. And then let's just talk about him catching the ball.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when guys like him catch the ball. You have the others coming in to make sure that he can go out there and get in that pay dirt.
I think you see the physicality of everybody, right? You see who's in the shot. Williams, Gibbs, all these guys are here because this is the culture of this team. They are finishing down the field in a physical, violent manner. We haven't talked about Williams, but he's an explosive weapon as well. In the meantime, Tim, we got to send it down to Fred.
Got to.
He's on the field talking about whatever he's talking about.
This is your best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek, the most disruptive idea in ticketing. A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Of course Logan would say that, but me and Sean Springs out here on the practice field getting to the real. Sean, how can this defense stop the Lions offense?
And we got pretty tough talents this week because the Detroit Lions, they can do it all. They can throw the ball, they can run the ball, and we talked about it earlier that they got some guys that are probably arguably the best in the league at their position. Jahmyr Gibbs was a home run hitter, and
Laporta, tight end,
and St. Brown. He's Armor St. Brown is one of the best slot receivers in the inside. So I think it starts with just the coordinator, Coach got challenged on his hand. Coach Witt gonna have to show different looks. You know, Jared Goff is surgical if he knows what you're in. So I think it starts with the pre-snap look.
But I think we have an advantage knowing where Jared Goff is going to be.
Right.
When I look at Kinlaw, when I look at Payne, and I look at the middle of their offensive line, Ragnow retired. All right, they got a new center. They got 2 new guards. If we're going to penetrate, if we're going to beat them, I think that's where we have the leverage in, and that's where we should lean at.
And that's what I mean by the look. So if you show something in pre-snap, and we know that, and then move around when the ball is snapped, that makes the quarterback hold it a little bit.
So you saying simulated pressure? You want to simulate pressure,
or just show him something where he just can't just come out and know where to go right away with the ball. Make him pad it a little bit. Give the guys, the big men up front, the opportunity to run their stunts to get inside. But if you just line up and we're gonna play cover 1 and get after, we know we might be in cover 1, but we might show a too high look first.
Are you threatening to play a lot of zone because of the run game? Are you more prone to play a lot of zone because of the pass game? Because myself, I think you're gonna have to mix it up. Because if we play predominantly cover 4 or cover 2, I think we get a big dose of Sonic and Knuckles, and I don't think that works in our favor.
You're right. You know, David Montgomery, who's an inside guy, and you got Jahmyr Gibbs, so you're going to have to get after him a little bit, and you're going to have to pick and choose your poison.
It's going to be one of them games. It will be a challenge. Back to you, BC.
Shout out to Sean and Fred being on that field. Always good to see our guys together. Now, Commander Safety and Special Teams ace Jeremy Reaves caught up with Sean, Fred, and Santana on this week's Players Club. Let's take a little sneak peek. It drops Saturday at midnight.
This year, man, year 7, it just seemed like, you got an opportunity. And it's something that, we all probably have waited for in this league, to have that one opportunity or that chance to kind of do something that we've been wanting to do all our life. And it seemed like now to see you on defense, I honestly can see, the hunger and the grit and all the things that you probably put into your game, into the preparation of you being where you at today.
Yeah.
How has it been for you, man, to now kind of get a chance to be on that side of the ball and you living up to it?
It's been a blessing, right? It's like, for me, it's like the things you pray for, you don't know necessarily when they're going to come.
Yeah.
Right? So I've been praying for that forever, right? Yeah. And then, God says, it's
time.
Right? It's time now.
Yeah.
And that would just happen to be years down the road. So, like, for me, the preparation always was just to prepare as if the time is today. Yeah. Because you just don't know when it's gonna come, and so this is a violent game, and people go down, and so when you go down, it's got to be next man up, and it can't be a drop off from that. So I've just tried to, help my team in any way possible, and with my play style and how I play, just add that to the unit.
Shout out to All-Pro Revo for pulling up to the Players Club. Remember, you can stream that on midnight on Saturdays. Now here's a look at Revo's numbers from this season. Reaves is getting it done on defense and on special teams. He has a career high 49 tackles. He has a sack and 3 stuffs on the season. You can see Revo flying all over that field. Now, let's dive into this Week 10 matchup. It's time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fence. Security in every job. Fellas, we mentioned it off the top. Jaden Daniels will not be playing once again. However, we do have one of the better backups in the NFL, and Marcus Mariota started 3 games already for us, Tanner. What do you expect to see him in his 4th start for us?
Well, I think we're fortunate, first of all, just to have a guy that we can always rely on when we don't have our starter. But I think, one of the things that stand out to me about Mariota, man, he's a vet. He's a savvy vet at that. He understands our offense. He also has a skill set that I think is second to none. I mean, the other guy who's not going to be playing for us is the only guy I can say that can run our offense as good as he has so far. And he just give us a chance to win, man. He's going to go out there, he's going to run things. He's going to go out there and take advantage of things that he sees when it comes to the RPO game, and he's going to get the guys who needs the ball in the hand. He's going to find a way to get it to them.
But the one thing about it is you're taking out Jaden Daniels, the number 2 pick, the Heisman Trophy winner, and you're replacing him with a number 2 pick and a Heisman Trophy winner with the same skill set. So that gives us a chance to still play with that edge on offense. And somewhat, I think with Cliff, I think he can be, I'm not going to say he can be a little bit more reckless with Marcus Mariota, but I feel like he runs a little bit more inside RPOs and a little bit more dangerous.
I think that might be Marcus doing that. He's to me, I feel like he understands
his ball handling
when he can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely.
No, I think to me it's the leadership and the experience, like Tana was alluding to there. Like that's the thing that at least gets you through this injury with Jaden, right?
Yeah.
We can kind of think about it and say, hey man, like there's a guy who's commanded this ship. He's run this offense. He kind of knows everyone's strengths and weaknesses. I see him communicating on the sideline with the players. Like he has a good relationship. So again, like he's got to overcome a lot here in terms of talent deficiency on the outside. Yeah. But at least he has that leadership and can manage this offense.
And he's been there and he's done that. Like he's war tested, and that's what you want.
And Logan, one thing else we want is him to be safe, to be protected. Our offensive line has struggled to protect the quarterback. The Detroit Lions, they're second in the NFL in sacks per game, so they get after the quarterback. How can we keep Marcus Mariota clean and stop from getting hit?
It's a great question, and I think it starts with Aiden Hutchinson. Starts and ends with Aiden Hutchinson. Like that defensive line for them is kind of it's funny. They're kind of built to stop the run outside of Aiden Hutchinson, who is like this dynamic pass rushing guy. So when you look at teams with one pass rusher, I think Cliff's done a pretty good job schematically of neutralizing him. And so it's neutralizing him on third down, but it's also understanding like where he is in the rush pattern on third down. They're going to bring a little bit of pressure. How do we kind of make sure we're ruled out effectively while making sure the player on one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, Connerly or Tunsil, has some help. So I think it's going to be a scheme thing, but I do feel better about it because it's really coming from one guy.
I think you got to use that aggression against them. All right, that aggression against them. That means screens. That means draws. Let them run past the play. Like if this is who you are and this is who you're gonna be, I'm gonna play right into that. I'm gonna use plays where it makes you want to hold that up. Can I make you think a second? And if I start this game off in the first and second quarter, I'm coming out and I'm draw heavy. I'm screen heavy. I want to use that aggression and make you pay for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I just feel like you just have a balanced attack. I think if we, try to find a way to establish the run a little bit more, so we won't have to be solely, having to use our guys or put anything on their arms, our quarterbacks rather. And to me, that's all it's about. I think if you have an attack where you're moving the ball, if you stand ahead of those chains, we're not necessarily worrying about our quarterback being teed off on.
And Fred, we've talked a lot about playing clean and not having those self-inflicted wounds. And the Detroit Lions, they know how to take the ball away. They're one of the best defenses in taking the ball away in the NFL. How can we limit mistakes, especially with our backup quarterback?
Well, I think the thing is, you got to keep a clean pocket. Like, the only time quarterbacks make mistakes in this league is when they under distress. When they under distress is when they make these not dumb decisions, they make an intuitive decision, a quick decision. And you don't want that to happen. And if they're going to challenge us and play man-to-man, we got to push the ball down the field. The one thing about a 50-50 ball, it's either going out of bounds, it's going to be caught, or it's going to be a PBI, a PBU. So it's not one of these things where you're throwing into a jumble of zones and you're throwing into a beehive. I say this. If they're good at something, challenge them, how good are you? And that's what we're going to have to do to go win this game. This is a no fair dodging game. What we did to them in Detroit, we went to Detroit and we kicked forward trucks. We did whatever we wanted to do. They're going to come down here with revenge on their mind, and we got to use what they do good, and we got to use it against them.
Yeah, I think Fred brought up a great point there. It's really managing the pressure. Like, it's Aiden Hutchinson, but also their blitzes. They're a very aggressive defense. They're going to play a ton of man coverage. It's not a secret. You know what they're going to do. It's not. Some teams come in and every week they change the game plan. Not the Detroit Lions. They're going to come in. They're going to play man. They're going to play zero. They're going to get after your butt a little bit. And that's exactly what we got to expect. So what are our solutions? It starts in terms of game planning on Tuesday this week, and hopefully we get a good plan for it.
And it's not just a tough defense we're facing, Logan. We're also facing a very tough offense. Jared Goff has these boys rolling. How can we cause him to make some of those mistakes that we're trying to avoid?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I don't think they're quite as good as they were last year. But I think when you look at the offensive line specifically, they're starting 2 young players in there. The center's new. You can feel them in terms of combinations on the rundown. They're way less efficient running the football this year. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs is still averaging almost 5 yards a carry, but it's because he hits these explosive chunks. If you can manage those explosive moments, I think you're okay. You kind of limit what they can do from a play-action pass standpoint, and it all falls on Jared Goff. And last year we saw what happens. If you play zone coverage versus Jared Goff, sometimes they'll start seeing zones, but you got to earn that opportunity by winning first and second down and playing assignment sound football.
And Fred, something that we have struggled with pretty much all season long is covering the tight end. You got a guy in Sam Laporta, had a touchdown, I think 97 yards in his last game. Has had a really good season, man. What adjustments can we make to find some success in covering the tight end?
First of all, you got to be alert and aware of where he at. The one thing to do, they move him all over the formation. Where is Laporta? You start there. Second, you're going to have one safety to say, you know what? I'm ready to battle with you. I'm ready to go be a war daddy with you. And you cannot let him get yours out the catch. He's one of those slippery tight ends. He don't only catch the ball. He's not a catch and fall guy. He's a catch and I'm going to keep going. He's a yak guy. You got to get this guy on the ground and in the red zone. This is when he does his work. work the best. You got to make sure he don't catch the ball in the red zone.
Fellas, a very, very exciting matchup. I believe in our Commanders. I know you guys too. Let's look at some of these game day details for our fans that's going to be in the building and also from our fans that's going to be watching at home. Now, kickoff is at 4:25 p.m., but remember, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the Commanders YouTube, Facebook, and X, we'll be doing Command Center Game Day Live. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and of course, you can watch the game on Fox. It's always a fun time on game day, especially with our brand new set, new AAA field, and most importantly, the AAA VIP fan section. You never know who's going to pull up to game day, and this past week, a can't-miss wide receiver trio pulled up to honor one of the best to ever do it in the burgundy and gold. This is your Can't Miss Moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders.
Now, Art, man, we know how much this moment means to you. Yeah. But I got a feeling it means even more being able to share it with your two brothers to the left of you right here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all this is nice, and I appreciate all the accolades and everything. But really, the game I played was a team sport, and I couldn't have done what I did without the help and support of my teammates.
Yeah.
Offensively, these guys, I mean, they can tell you, they took coverage off of me, so I was left alone sometimes, and I took coverage off of them. So we helped each other.
Oh, yeah.
And so we always, did things for one another.
Always an honor to sit down with the Posse. It's rare to find a trio that achieved the numbers this crew did. Let's take a look at those winning numbers. Brought to you by Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. Now, all these guys were a part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams. Ricky Sanders with over 6,000 career yards, fellas. Gary Clark with over 10,000 receiving yards.
11.
And the Hall of Famer Art Monk with over 12,000 yards and 68 touchdowns. And fellas, his number was retired. We celebrated him in a big way. He pulled up to Game Day Live with the Posse, as y'all saw. And what a moment that was. No, we did not get the win. However, we celebrated somebody who should have been celebrated long ago, Fred.
Well, they always say the great things come in threes, all right? You got the sun, the moon, and the earth, all right? Then I got the Posse, all right? The one thing about it, what I really do love about these guys, they different personalities, different skill sets, but they learned how to play together and pull for each other. And when I saw them sitting on the stage with you, I was like, that's a moment. Because the last time we seen these 3 guys together, they was hosting the trophy. They was winning championships. So to see them all back together, man, that's what magic looks like and feels like.
Yeah, no, you get just like the dynamism of that group, how special they were, the historical impact on the franchise, I think can't be overstated. But again, back together on a special night, like how gorgeous was the stadium, the jerseys, the whole thing looked great. Really did him a great service.
Yeah, it was just dope seeing them. I mean, I think one of the things when you're a receiver in this league, and coming up and watching different receivers be able to go out there and display what it's like to be elite. All 3 of those guys was considered elite to me. You know what I mean? And I'm watching these guys, like you say, win Super Bowls. So see them now, and I remember when I first got here, and I met a couple of them. I met Gary and I met, Ricky. It's crazy how those guys always told me you could have been one of us.
Fellas, what a moment it was. Like Tanner said during Game Day Live, it's good to give somebody their flowers when they still hear the smell it, man. It was so great. I'm here with the best guys in the world. Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, and Logan Paulson. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr. This is Command Center. Remember, catch us on Game Day Live from the crib at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the Commanders YouTube, Facebook, and X. We'll see y'all at Northwest Stadium.
Command Center was filmed at Big Bear AI Command Center Studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.